Shamps and giggles. History, news, views, and reviews from a black perspective. Shamps and giggles back for 2024. Oh my Lord. Welcome to another amazing evening. Shamps and giggles in the building. Crazy cousin is in the building. Lord of it. iPhones here. Clancy's there. Pinky, Leisha, Shooks. Spice, George. What a one. Do you know what? Today is just another amazing day because you guys are here. We get to talk it ain't. It's great. What a week it's been. It goes by so quickly. Good Lord. And everything's quick when you're working hard, isn't it? I wish I could be on the beach though. I swear to God. But there's been a lot going on, and more of the banter is going to come out in the second half of this particular show. But we had this situation here with the Pope that people been blowing up my the feed with about the Pope bringing out a Black Madonna. Unbelievable. I mean, who heard about the Pope praying to a Black Madonna? I mean, just to give a visual. Can I give a visual? No, I can't. It's not allowing me. Just to give a visual right here, right quick. Here it is. Look, the Pope is let's see. He's on his knees, and there's the Black Madonna right there. I mean, does this coincide with Russia releasing those pictures from its vault? You know, Russia has...
yes, it does.
It does, all of a sudden, released several pictures showing the Jesus and the disciples and all the people back there were Black. And then, lo and behold, the Pope praying to I can't remember the Pope playing to a Black Madonna before. Why would it coincide? What's going on? Are they trying to fool Black people? What is going on? Pinky, your hand is up.
Well, I think there's two things going on. It could be one on Putin's side in terms of, like, you know, what he's actually done because he's at war. So it, you know, it shows the real coy which he has done. It might make the people in Russia not feel so much. That's my view on that. That's a twist, yeah. The others, right. Because remember, you know, they've had this for years. He's known this for years. So why open it up now? Why open it up now? For me, you know, because we always knew that Jesus was Black. We always knew that. You know, we knew he certainly wasn't white. But what I would say now, even for Christianity, for the churches here in the UK, for the English, for the UK, what a wicked, nasty, uncanny set of people that you are, that you could hide so much history, that you can do so much damage to your own religion.
I mean, funny you mentioned hiding history.
Yeah.
Because they eradicated it from all...
They eradicated us completely from history. And to think that Russia, I mean, these paintings are so significant in terms of its predating, yeah? Which predates anything that they've ever had. Okay?
Yeah.
Which for me, you know, the damaging thing about this is not even Black people now. Understand, just as much as there's white racists who wouldn't want to pray to a Black Jesus, because that's probably why they hid him in the first place, with all the wickedness that they did within slavery, okay? That even Black people don't believe that there was a black, you know, that Jesus was Black, because there's a lot of Black people who would, you know, this must be such a shock for them because they dwell in white supremacy. They love the white supremacy. They can't do nothing wrong. Oh, I've never faced racism before in my life. You understand? So
I totally hear you. Let's just tune in a bit to romereports.com. Just a sneak preview of what they're having to say about the Pope. Apparently, Russia is involved with this, by the way. But let's just have a listen. Folks praying, huh?
What is this today?
He's in deep prayer. It's taking a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's asking why. Why now?
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like it's real. The cameras are there. They were praying. This is romereports.com. Find it on YouTube. And the Pope is praying in front of the Black Madonna of Zetstokwa. And there
Let's not call her the Madonna. Call her what they know her as. Because they never call it the White Madonna, do they?
What do they call her? I mean, I'm just reading what it says at the top of the screen, to be fair.
Mary. Her name was Mary.
Oh, okay, Mary. This is very, very interesting.
Baby Jesus.
Mary and baby Jesus. Okay. Well, there you have it.
Actually, it's Mariana.
What it is, what they've always taught us.
Mariana. It's supposed to be Mariana.
Was
really? So Mary, mother of Jesus, here they're portrayed as a black woman.
Jesus.
And so Russia revealed this all of a sudden.
Yes,
never before has the likes of it been seen. According to reports, this well, if you Google it, it's meant to be something that happens every 100 years. I saw that somewhere. You know, when the Pope goes out and every year is. So in the Vatican News, and it is there that the Black Madonna is kept. This is 29th of August, this report on the Vatican News, whose coronation has been celebrated every 100 years since 1620 on the last Sunday of August. But we're not in August now, and he's praying to Black Madonna and Black Jesus. This is a strange world we're living in. Mind you, now that it's happened, what are we meant to think? What does it change? Does it change anything?
Them still gonna get beat and teach. God will whip them.
There's a match that they play with a hard ball and a bat. I think they call it cricket. But you know, what does that have to do with anything? I mean, you know, the West Indies are a very good team. But yeah, so this is changing times. Changing time. I don't know what it means that the Black Madonna has now been revealed and the Pope is seen in our time. Never before seen in my life. Praying to Black Mary and Jesus. I mean, Pinky, your hand is up. Black Mary and Jesus is what's going on there. Black Mary and Black Jesus. Pinky's kind of disappeared. She pushed the wrong button. You know, yeah, we haven't seen it. It's not in my lifetime. We haven't seen this. So if it's every 100 years, the 100 years before would have been 1912. Again, Black people wasn't really in this country, I say. But they say Rome. I don't know. The media maybe didn't showcase it in any way. How much of a showcase? Did anybody see this like on the BBC or anything like that? Because as I'm reading this one, where Pope prays at the Black Madonna, look, somebody comments there, they won't allow this to be shown on American TV. probably we can say the same for this country. You know, truth hurts when you've been told a lie so long. So it's not like we're making this stuff up. Clearly, people having seen this, Black people around the world feel the same way. And I guess there's a few white people involved as well who realize that, yeah, that we've been told lies. And you know, racism and such has spread as a result of it. And now look at the calamity that's going on between people can't agree. You know, a little bit of a side point. I heard on the radio today about the issues in Gaza and Palestine. Has anybody followed that?
I haven't followed it, but I've seen on the news about the terrible loss of life to the aid workers delivering aid to the victims, or not the people that's struggling to find food and water and so on. So for me, yeah, it was a terrible thing that's happened. And personally, I think that it should never have happened. I understand that the Israeli government are looking into it and they're doing an inquiry. But I personally, I know that the aid workers are in the front line because they're there in the war, that they're supposed to have a safe passage to deliver aid where necessary. But the Israeli armed commander apparently, or he said that it shouldn't have happened. He's doing an investigation to it. I understand. I've seen the news recently to say that the actual commanding officer who was in charge of the bombings around Gaza, he was sacked. He's been sacked and removed from post.
Yeah, but Keith, hold on a minute. This 5 white aid workers, everything comes to a stop. 34,000 Palestinians. Not to mention how many they're starving deliberately, by the way, because Netanyahu's blocked them in. And that's been revealed now that it's a deliberate blockage. It's a deliberate deprivation of food. 5 aid workers. And now the whole world stops. I mean, can't make this stuff up. Can't make this stuff up. Pinky, your hand is up. I think Pinky, please don't revert to the black myth. Go on.
Yeah. Well, the Gaza and Israel, it show how callous they are, really. They're on down their multitude of people that dying.
Yeah.
For me, it's those who know have their hand inside the pie. Is that, you know what? To be honest, it's going to be, how long is that known for?
Yeah, she's gone. You're really breaking up. She's actually disappeared. Good Lord, poor girl. But I get what you're saying. The bloodshed is, and it shows that the corruption of the government. I think that's what Pinky was saying. It shows the corruption of the government. They've got a hand in the pie, and so they're condoning a lot. But it's beyond a joke. 34,000, and then all these people left to starve. And then 7 aid workers, including 3 British men. And oops, you've gone too far now. And then you say anything against that? Not against. You speak out about it, and it's you're anti-Semitic, or you're and they lock people up. I mean, this is really serious.
That's what we are. We're anti-war. That's what we are.
Yeah, that's what you don't see people disproportionately women and children being killed.
But the war will always go on because that's always.
Yeah, there's money in war because the weapons, and it's Shugs. Shugs got a hand up. Come in, Shugs, start the thing.
I just went down the shops, and I just saw some voting cards for Gaza. I mean, hold on, what's going on here? Right?
Well,
You've got Palestine in England voting for Parliament.
peace, yeah.
What is really going on here? What's this vote for Gaza? I thought cartel straight away. That's the
You know,
first
but
thing. Cartel Gaza. Right?
Shug, what's going on? The Palestinians, there's been several demonstrations.
I've got a road down there. They're full of Palestine. You can't even walk on the pathway. The cars are parked up everywhere. I'm saying you don't need a blasted car park. You know,
Well, maybe they do.
Road. You're coming
yeah.
like Little Peckham. You're coming like Little Peckham. Yeah, yeah. But I'm just thinking, hello, excuse me, what you mean vote for Gaza?
Well,
Gaza?
Yeah, vote for Gaza to free the people. Then they need food. They're starving. They're deliberately being starved. The food, access to food is being blocked. So I would say vote for Gaza, yes, too. Yeah.
We vote for Gaza, don't vote for our own? Or what is going on here? That's what I'm thinking.
Well, we need to vote for him, but it's a huge mess. Let's just call it what it is. It's a huge mess. It's very, very sad. And I think this idea that anybody who speaks out against what the Israelis doing, being called anti-Semitic and then led off to I think, sorry, you've played the anti-Semitic card a bit too much now. I mean, 34,000 people have been killed, and there's all these thousands further that have been starved.
And
Come
how
on,
much
it can't be. Say again?
How many are in England? That's what we've got to ask ourselves.
No, there's quite a few, just like we're in England. You know, we got people back home, all the rest of it.
We've got our own problems.
Yeah. How many, you know, so how many others been starved? You know, it can't be anti-Semitic to really speak out about the humanity. At this point in time, it becomes a case of humanity. These are human beings literally being destroyed. It's like almost like the Holocaust. You know, you can't just stand by and watch Hitler just kill after people them and not say anything because, oh, you're anti-Semitic. Yeah, you're not anti-Semitic. You're just anti-war. So I think going forward, 3 British men, I mean, is that the spark that's going to cause an end to it? You know, but I just think that it's a huge atrocity, you know, beyond.
Well, you see, it goes to show it's good for them to highlight that the AIDS people got attacked or whatever. Or did they get murdered?
Well, it is murder, really. They were killed in the line. Right. They were just doing a job. They got nothing to do with the war.
We should love our neighbors. Love that neighbor.
For their lives now, maybe people can see, you know, the real truth of the Israelis and what they're doing. Come on.
And what they're doing and what they've been doing, because true to what you're saying.
Yeah.
In that part of why this has all happened is because Israel have been occupying the land over there and treating them. They've not been treating them fairly. Let's just put it that way. They haven't been treating them fairly. So of course you're going to retaliate. That's, you know, again, that's the human being. If you're not being treated right, it's you know,
how they're living. Look at where they're living.
Love thy neighbor.
Look at Israel.
Love thy neighbor.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
But that's the thing. It weren't even their land in the first place. When you go back to the history, it weren't even their land in the first place.
Well, it's just made up land. Israel is made up land, made up state.
No, it isn't made up land, Joseph. It actually belongs to Ethiopia. It's not made up land. It's not. Go back to the history of all of that. Yeah, it's not. It's to do with the British and the American who's got their fingers. That's how they build that part of that canal, the sewers.
The Suez
That's how they build the sewers. Yeah,
it went under sand, Pinky. It went under sand.
They've all got their fingers in it. They need to go back to the history of it and know, because it don't even belong to them.
But that's the thing.
Ethiopia's land.
In all of this, they don't want to go back to the history.
No.
They don't want to, because the history, they don't want to hear the history. That's the usual. They don't want to hear the history. The history will go against them. They say, oh, that's past now. We got to take it from where we are now.
Teeth come from teeth. And what teeth?
Yeah. You can't go there. They don't want you there. They don't want you in Israel, let me tell you. You
well, I don't know.
about them people. They're not nice.
Are there black people in Israel?
No,
Yes,
they don't want you there.
Yes, there is. There
They
is.
don't want you there because they know the truth, which is the truth that has just been revealed. The Black Madonna just been revealed. That's true that they don't want to acknowledge. You better get that right.
Right. So if that's my point, the Black Madonna's been revealed. If we're to acknowledge it, how does it change us? That's what I mean. What does it really, really do? What does it really, really mean? I mean, are you, because there's a Black Madonna, is black people going to up and go, yay, let's go to church?
No, it's not us that's needs changing.
Play.
It's not us that needs changing. It's the world.
Yeah, well, the world is made up of us, isn't it?
In their perspective of how they see us.
Right. But the world is made up of people. And the people have to change. For the people to change, it's knowledge, isn't it? It's the information we're taking in on a continual basis. That's what's going to bring about the change. So this Black Madonna now been revealed. Now people know that they've been lied to. Are people going to change their ways, or are people going to be like, well, it's too late now. I'm setting my ways.
Pray for deliverance.
Beg for deliverance, did you say?
Yes, pray for deliverance.
Shugs, start the thing.
I thought Shugs was going to say she's setting her ways.
No, pray for deliverance.
Beg for deliverance. All right, Shugs.
We need to arise as black people. And now we've got the black just come out of nowhere, yeah? People are praying.
So there's so much going on, and I'm just trying to stay on the point. There's another interesting point about Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey allegedly said black people wanted to be enslaved. Who's ever heard such a thing?
Because of ignorance.
You think? Do you think he said that?
Well, he said it, but I would say that we enslaved ourselves because of ignorance.
He said it in terms to mean that there was so much of us.
Right. What do you think? I mean, I could be mistaken. In the time of slavery, was it that black slaves felt that they were getting a better life? So they thought, if I go into slavery, I'm going to be looked after.
We got a worse life, but because of ignorance of our worse life, now we're in ignorancy.
Because I was, okay, at least you got a hand up. Because, in Africa, the slaves there were treated, Africa had slaves, and their slaves were treated quite well. So when the British came over and said, yeah, we want slaves, the people got onto the boats, and when they passed that concrete barrier, that was it. And nobody knew what was happening thereafter. And they were led off in the boats, and that's when they were shackled and all the rest of it.
Denial.
And life became very, very bad. But when they were slaves in Africa, life wasn't for a slave a terrible thing. It's just like a maid now or a servant now. Leisha, your hand is up. Part of things.
We don't know what slavery was like, how it is to be enslaved. Being enslaved means that you've got no freedom of will. You cannot do anything for yourself. You are living for your master. You are enslaved. And the enslaved in the Americas and the Caribbean was shackled. It was shackled slavery. So the problem when slavery ended, was coming near to an end, there were free slaves and emancipation, is that you think you're training people to take orders,
right,
to do what they're supposed to do. They've got no concept of even taking care of themselves, understanding how money works, understanding how to take care of themselves, because they were given scraps and they were given huts to live in, etc., etc. So they were so dependent on their master that coming out of slavery would have been very difficult and probably traumatizing, I think.
What Shaka told them, Shaka showed them how to build huts before
Shaka who? Now hold on a minute. Whilst we're because you're bringing in Shaka Zulu, whilst we're on Michael Scarvey, I mean, he was a studious young man, which
I'm going to be at the when we come off, log off. I'm going to play a documentary about Marcus Garvey, because Marcus Garvey in his teaching touched on the Rastafarianism, Rastafari, also the Black Panther movement, as well as the Nation of Islam as well. You know, he's a scholar. But he did things in a way that was too advanced, I think. But when we watch it, we'll probably talk about it next week, I suppose, when we watch the documentary, the rest of us. But he's a prominent figure. He's respected by so many, but he was disliked by a lot of Black people because of what he stood for. They just didn't understand it. And he was sabotaged a hell of a lot by his own people as well.
Because they don't like the truth. Tell the Black man the truth. The Black man don't like it. Even now. Go down there and tell them man the truth.
It's not that
they're going to run you. You come out here.
Like it. It's just that it's the conditioning. It's the conditioning of the time. And it was the comfortabilities that you've got to understand. He came from the islands, from Jamaica, and he's come to America, and he's had these teaching. He's interacting with the Ku Klux Klan. You know, his way was a particular way that, when you think about it, he was brushed aside, and people like Martin Luther King took over, and that is what the white man liked. They liked the Martin Luther King. They didn't like what somebody like him and Malcolm X was preaching, because and we'll find out more about it. We could talk about this after next week. But it's not as simple as, you know, we don't know. No. It's a bit more deeper than that. He
was a traveled man, though. He traveled and worked in several Latin American countries before relocating to London. So it would say to me, to travel at that time, you must have had money, or you must have known something or someone. You know, iPhone Angela is in the building. I see Sophia Rich, Toots there to Lord of his mercy. What? But he, so he was a traveled man. And one thing that traveling does is it opens up your mind's eye to, wow, you know what? You know, everything, what they're saying over there is not the whole truth, because over here it's a whole different, do you know what I mean? And then you really get a perspective when you travel. And so he had a lot of perspective back then, which is quite amazing. Smiley, your hands up, top D.
Just before we go to the break in the next minute or so, but what I was going to say, that he is an absolute wise man, and bearing in mind, this is him in time, and his quotes, some of his quotes that resonate even now. One of his quotes was, "If we as a people realize the greatness from which we came, we would be less likely to disrespect ourselves." Yeah? If we as people realize the greatness from which we came from, yeah? That's what he's saying. We don't respect our greatness as a Black nation. Yeah,
we're
if we
kings
did,
and queens, but we got to go find it, don't we?
Yeah, we
Don't respect the struggle.
And that's just one. Before mindful of hands going up. And it says, and another quote from him before we do go is that it falls to our lot to tear off the shackles that bind Mother Africa.
Yeah.
Can we do it? I don't know. We're still struggling to do these things.
We can do it. That's what Obama said. Yes, we can. Yes, we absolutely can. We have to go to a break. Shams and giggles. It's no coincidence I'm playing this song.
Yeah.
We'll be back after
We're
this
doing
word.
this for all the ladies. H-Town boys. Kicking it with my boy Luke. For the 9-3, you know what I'm saying? Cause we will be knocking the boots. G.I. Shazam and Dino. They gonna do a little something for you real sexy like, you know what I'm saying? Hey yo, check the verse.
Last night I thought back when we made good love, listening to some Marvin Gaye all night long.